Solved. So how can white win this position? By promoting the pawn. Okay. What if he just pushes the pawn? What happens? Black king will come and capture. Okay. So he wants to promote the pawn, but he wants to stop the black king from capturing. So what will be the idea? You have to bring your king, defend the pawn, and defend the winning square. Okay, wow. So you will start with king to b3. Okay. What will black play? Black will try to be aggressive. Okay, they will try to come towards the pawn and also towards the winning square. Okay, wow. So they play king b7. How will white continue? King d4. Black, king c6. Now how to continue with white? Pawn to e5 should not be played. You have to, the technique is, you have to bring the king first. Okay, so you'll play king to e5. Now what does the king do? It stops the black king from coming close to the pawn. Correct? So black king ஆல இப்ப வர முடியுமா pawn கிட்ட? Not possible. Okay. What will black king try? He'll go king d7. So now they are at least trying to cover the queening square. Okay, wow. White's move. King f6. White wants to go with his king to which square? எங்க போக ட்ரை பண்றாங்க white? f7. Right? If king goes to f7, then the queening square is protected. Correct? So what will black try? Black will try to stop king f7. So he goes king e8. Okay. How will white continue? Pawn is on e4. If you go pawn e5, you are not getting the opposition. So you have to try to get the opposition. Opposition na you will play king e6. So both the kings are opposing each other. அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? So black king cannot come closer in any direction. Okay, they cannot come on either side. So black king is restricted to that last rank. Okay, in this case, or they have to go further back. Okay, it is in any other rank. So opposition na you will put the king one square in front of your opponent's king. That is called opposition. Okay, whenever you are in a pawn ending, the side which gets the opposition stands better. Okay, if it is black, then black will be able to draw, and if it is white, white will be able to win in this position. Okay, so king e6. Now what can black do? Black king has to go either king f8 or king d8. So if they go king f8, now you can take control of the queening square. Correct? So you will go king d7. Okay, if they go the other side, if they go to d8, then you can go to f7. Okay, now the game is lost for black. Okay, the king is protecting the queening square. Now he can push the pawn. Okay, if you try to push early, then it might end in a draw. I'll show you that also. So king has no other move. King just moves back and forth. You play e5, king goes back, e6, king has to move away, then e7, and you queen. Okay. So from the starting position, what was the technique? To bring the king, to guard the pawn first, then to guard the queening square, then you will promote. Okay. So here the king tries to come in front of the pawn, comes in front of the pawn, then it gains the opposition. Okay, it's very important to get the opposition. After the king moves, takes control of that square. Okay, and then it's promotion. Okay, second position. Here again you will find whether it is a win or draw for white and what is the sequence. Okay. King f2, king d7, king f3 is a bit slow. Okay, in this case, you will try to go under the pawn. Okay, so you will go king g3, king e6, king h4. Okay, then king f6, king h5, king g7. Okay, now what will you do? king g5. Again, getting the opposition. Okay. Now he goes h7. King f6, h8. King f7 is also okay. But here, there is an easier method. Okay. You will just go king to g6. Okay. Now black king has only one move. King g8. Now black king got the opposition. Okay. But you will make the black king move again. By playing which move? Pawn to g5. Now you have the opposition. Black king has to move away. Okay. King h8. Now king f7. Then check and you will win. Okay. Now black has the extra pawn. Black is trying to promote. Okay, this side. White to move. You are trying to defend. You are trying to draw the position. Okay. How will you start? King c3. Okay. So you gain the opposition now. Okay. If they allow you to gain the opposition, you have to gain the opposition. King d5. What will you do? King to b4. If you play king to b4, then black will play king to d4. Okay. Now black is better because black has the opposition. So in this, if you try to continue, you cannot go up, right? Pawn is defending. So you'll have to go down. Black will come with you. Black has the opposition. Okay. Or even better is, and if you try to go further, okay, black will come in front of the pawn. Now, if you try to gain the opposition, black will simply play this move. What you saw. Okay. Now, white will have to give up the opposition. Then black will come here. If white tries to go here, again black will gain the opposition. White will have to give up the opposition. Now black will control the queen snare. Okay. So then there is no choice. If you try to move the king, black will simply push the pawn and queen. Okay. So in that position, after king d5, you should get the opposition. Whenever possible, you should get the opposition. So how will you get the opposition with king? King to d3. So you are not allowing the black king to come forward. Okay, if the black king comes forward, he will protect the queening square. Okay, black plays c5, king c3. Now you have to give up the opposition, but you go in front of the pawn. Black cannot make progress. Right? Okay. c4, king c2. You should always stay in front of the pawn. Okay, king d4, king d2. Again gaining the opposition. Same position was there just in the previous rank. Okay. Now, king c. Then king c1. King b1. Keeping the opposition. Okay. Now, pawn push, check. King goes here. Okay. Stalemate. Right. So this is a drawing technique. You will either be in front of the pawn or you will be opposing the king. Okay. Just these two ideas. This is enough to draw this look. If you make any mistake, then they will queen. Okay. Now with white. Pawn to g4. Right. Forcing the black king to give up the opposition. Okay. Black king goes. Now king f6. Black plays king h8. King g6. After king g8, pawn to g5. Again forcing the black king to give up the opposition. Now you will take control. Okay. King h7. Now you just push. White to move. Not king c2. You remember we went under the pawn diagonally last time. Okay. Same way you have to do. King b2. They are playing king d7, king a3, king c6, king to a4. Okay, this is diagonal opposition. Okay, similar to how you will have straight opposition, you can have opposition diagonally also. So now king b6, what will you play? King b4. Now you get the actual opposition. King a6. King c5. Okay, king b7. Now king b5. Again opposition. Okay, black king has to give up. Now king a6. They play king to c6. Okay, now you can push the pawn, right? b4. They move the king. b5. They go there. Now king b6. Opposition. King goes to a8. Now king c7 and the pawn promotes. Okay. Next one. White to move. King b3. Maintaining the opposition so that the black king cannot approach the white pawn. Okay. Firstly, defending the pawn. Black king tries to come forward. King c3. King d3. King e3. King f3. King g3. King to h4. Pushing the black king behind. Okay. King g6. King g4. Very good. King h5. Okay. King g5. King f7. King h6. King g6. Can play to g4. Okay. Because there is one more move. If you want the tempo, you can get it. Okay. Now black will give up the opposition. Okay. Now it is just promoting. So as long as you maintain that opposition, you can drive the king backwards. This position, king d2. Okay, black plays this move. This is called distant opposition. Okay. The king is far, but still from that distance it maintains opposition. Black is trying to maintain the opposition. Okay. Now white will have to get the opposition back. King D3. No. You have to go to E3. Okay. Whenever your pawn is on the second rank, you should try to put your king at least on the fourth rank. Okay. Then you will be in a winning position. If your king reaches the fourth rank, when the pawn is on second rank, you will get a winning position. Okay. Black is still maintaining the opposition, distant opposition. Now, just king E. Now you have reached the fourth rank. Okay. They are maintaining the opposition. Okay. What will you do? Pawn to E2. They have to give up the opposition. Then you will take control. Now black plays E4 check. King goes back to D6. Go ahead. King F6. Now King D7. Pawn to E7. Okay. King E8. King E6. Okay. Once again, the black is forced to give up the opposition. Now you will win. Now you are defending with white. Black is trying to promote. Okay. White's move. What will white play? King C2. King C2 is distant opposition. Okay. The white square the light square king here light square when you come, it is distant opposition. They are going king to B7. White wants to maintain the opposition. King B3. They play king C6. King C2. Okay. Holding the opposition. Okay. King D6. King D4. Simply maintaining the opposition. Okay. C6. King C4. Now you have to give up the opposition, then you block the pawn. Okay. Pawn to C5. King C3. King D5. King D3. C4 check. King C3. King C5. King C2. King D2. Check. C2. King C1. Now King D1. C2 check. King C1. Stalemate. Right? So this is the drawing technique. As long as you keep the opposition, you can draw the switch. Now white is trying to draw the switch. King G1. They'll play H2 check. You will simply go to the corner. Now stalemate. Again, white is trying to draw this. King C1. Okay. Black plays A4. King D1. A3. King A1. A2 is 1. Okay. So here, which is the critical square to control? C1. Okay. If you lose C1, Okay. If you play anything else, then what will black play? They will play king b2. If they play king b2, then it is lost. Okay. So king c1 stops king b2. Then you can easily draw the position. Okay. White is trying to draw this. But white's king is behind the pawn. Okay. King g3, h2, king f2. Black does not have any move. You are stalemating black. Okay. Black king is in the corner. You trap the black king. You can either have your king on f2 or f1. Okay. You can trap. This. Sorry. திரும்ப பேலன்ஸ் போன் வந்து 0.6 lakhs செகண்ட் டேஜ் வின் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? இது வின் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? அது உண்டு. அவர் அப்படிலாம் அது பார்த்தேன் முடிச்சலாமாங்க ஒரு முடிச்சு ஆளுங்க போட்டுருக்கோம். கப்பல் ஓட்டிட்டே போறோம். அப்படியா? உடனே கப்பல் ஓடலாம். சராங்க 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 பில்டிங் தரலாம். பெரிய பில்டிங் எவ்வளோ சம்பளம் தெரியலையே. மாசத்துக்கு 8 லட்சம் 7 லட்சம் மாசத்துக்கு ஏதோ பில்டிங் கட்டலாம். பிளான் பண்ணேன். ஓகே பை. ஓகே பை. White is trying to win. Okay, white to play. How to proceed? Pawn to b7. King goes to a7. Pawn to b6. Check. If you play this, king will go back. Stalemate. It will become stalemate. Or you have to give up the pawn. Okay. If you try to put the king there, then also it will end in a draw. Okay. So you cannot play b6 check. You cannot play b6 check. You have to do something else. Pawn to b8, queens. Okay, now pawn to b6 will draw. King to b6, getting the opposition, right? One move, it will become a draw. Okay, the king moves. Now you can promote the pawn. That's it. Okay. white to move. Okay. Now think of the sequence, the entire sequence. Try to think. King c3. If you play king c4, they will try to gain the distant opposition. Okay. So you start with king c3. They go king c7, king d4. Okay. King b6. They are attacking the pawn. King c4, king c7, king c5. Now you got the opposite. Okay. Okay. They'll go king b7, pawn to b6, king to a6. Pawn to b7, sacrificing the pawn. Okay. King takes b7, king b5, king a7, king c6, king b8, king b6, king a8. Now you can play b5. Okay. King c7 is slightly slow. b5 is better. You play b5, then king b8, king a6. Okay. Pawn to b6, pawn to b7. Now they cannot go back to the a8 corner. Okay. After they move, king to a7, protecting the queening square. Okay. Fine. Pawn to h7 is checkmate. Okay. Here, you play king c5, what will happen is, okay, the king tries to go back. Okay, now the king cannot approach. It will be stalemate, right? Then you have to give up the pawn. So you're not making progress. Okay. Again, you have to go back. Again, the king will come back. Okay. So this is not making progress. So try something else. A8 twins. King takes. Now king c6. King b8. Pawn to b7. King a7. King c7. Okay. King a6. Then queens. Okay. Fine. So that's all for today. Today we have seen 15 endgames. King and pawn endgames. Okay. In king and pawn endgames, you have some important concepts. One is, what is the most important concept? Opposition. Then distant opposition. If opposition is not possible, then controlling the key squares. Okay, controlling the queening square and protecting your pawn if you are attacking. If you are defending, controlling the promoting square. Okay, so these are the concepts, key concepts in king and pawn endgames. Okay, fine. That's all for me. Okay.
Yeah.